Oh, look who it is! Kratos, the ghost of Sparta. The fallen god. The cursed mortal.
I need you to free me.
I told you, I cannot help you.
Where are you off to today?
But you're the only one who can.
Oh, that's right. You're off to kill your father, Zeus.
To destroy the king of the gods, you must seek the source of the strength.
Pandora's box?
Your eyes do not deceive you, Kratos. It is the same box you opened years ago. The power to kill a god still rests inside.
Never, never learn.
Trapped inside that box, there is a stronger power.
Never, never change.
It all began when Zeus triumphed over the Titans in the Great War. Zeus understood that the evils born from that battle would destroy the world of man and gods. Zeus commissioned Hephaestus to build a vessel strong enough to hold them.
Kratos, the fool who killed his own blood.
When you opened the box to kill Ares, you drew from the forbidden powers. Fear gripped Zeus.
How can I recover the box?
Neither god nor man can touch its lethal flame.
With its namesake, Kratos.
He took my beloved daughter, Pandora.
She is the key to destroying the flame.
Forever, ever cursed.
The key to our revenge.
Forever, ever doomed. Consumed by vengeance to his last breath.
I trust you.
The Spartan lights the way to dusty death.
You shouldn't. A simple child will not trouble me, Athena.
I hope you are right, Ghost of Sparta.
Today you may defeat me. But in the end, Kratos, in the end, you'll betray only yourself.
Use their speed to your advantage.
Welcome back, everybody, to more Let's Play God of War 3. Last time we got new footwear. Yeah, that's a technically accurate way to describe what happened last time. Whoa, that guy just floated up in the air for a bit. We got the Boots of Hermes last time, for brutally killing Hermes, as you may imagine. In terms of the items, the Boots of Hermes, the last of the items that we are collecting, is the most useless on its face. We're not going to be using it nearly as much as the Head of Helios or the Bow of Apollo. Not in the traditional sense, anyway. See, the Boots of Hermes gives you two abilities. It gives you the running thing that Kratos is doing now, but it also gives you an aerial dodge. The aerial dodge is something we're going to be using a lot more, especially later on in the game. That's the useful part of the Boots of Hermes. But the actual boots itself and the running fast thing, it doesn't really matter. We don't care about that. We're not going to be using that at all. You know, it's just a thing. Aside from interacting with the environment every now and again, we are not going to be using the boots for anything. Here we're seeing depictions of the Titanomachy, I believe, of the Olympians ousting the Titans in their role as the supreme beings of the world and being replaced by the Olympians themselves. Got a basic little fight here that's already over. Squish this guy. There we go. We have unleashed a plague at the end of the previous episode, as if the world wasn't already messed up enough with the endless night and the dead now just wandering around and the flooding of everything. Now there is a plague that has been unleashed thanks to the death of Hermes. Kratos really, truly doesn't matter. He has lost everything. He has nothing. The world around him is not a factor in the things that he does. Which is, he's going to go on quite a journey before he eventually gets to a place when he's hanging out in Scandinavia, that suddenly the needs of people are going to matter more to him. But that's not going to be for a very, very, very long time. For now, we've gotten ourselves another phoenix feather. The beginning of a new set. Using our Boots of Hermes to do a lot of climbing. This area shows off the capabilities of the Boots of Hermes, but we're really not going to be using it all that much throughout the course of the game. After this area, we really aren't going to be using the boots for much of anything. Except again for the aerial dodging. So get used to not seeing the Boots of Hermes. I mean, I'll upgrade them. I'm gonna upgrade everything by the end of this playthrough because there are just enough red orbs to do that. But it's not really gonna matter. The boots are not a thing that enter my radar in terms of things that I need to power up or need to take advantage of. This battle features more of the advanced soldiers that we talked about before, the ones that can't actually be picked up, rather the ones that you have to either parry or just attack. Triple triangle combos at this point do excellent, excellent damage. And I would recommend you just do that, and once they're weak enough, you can pick them up and throw them at other enemies. Good stuff. The reason the Ghost of Sparta triple triangle combo was so good is because it was taken from God of War 3. God of War 3 was the original game with the fantastic triple triangle combo. Before we talk more about that, however, here is a Cyclops. This is a throwback Cyclops, a Cyclops that we saw in God of War 1. These were the Cyclopes that Ares was using when he was attacking Athens, laying siege to Athena's city. These are exactly the same as they were in the God of War 1. They're even easier in this game because you can just do square, square, triangle, and you can stun lock them forever. Basically, they can't do anything in response to the square, square, triangle combo. So anytime you see them, just do square, square, triangle. It'll stun them. You can do more square, square, triangle, and they won't be able to do a thing about it. It's a little bit more complicated when there's more than one. Just because you might do a square, square, triangle on one, but the other one might not be in range, and so it'll get a sneaky hit off of you, hit off on you. So be careful. But here I'm just taking advantage of the God of War 3 camera situation where you keep the enemies off screen for a little bit, and they're not really gonna do anything. And there we go. There's that attack from God of War 1 where they throw their mace at you. Not devastating in any way here. These creatures are pretty tame. They're just fun throwbacks to what we saw in God of War 1. Here I'm just keeping my distance, taking advantage of the God of War 3 camera thing. Attacking with my bow for some nice chip damage. Nice and safe. See, by this point, I had figured out how few times I had actually died so far. So I started to get pretty excited that maybe I could do a whole run where I die less than 10 times. That's not going to happen. I ended up dying 16 times, but I got pretty excited at this point that maybe I could do a really, really exceptional run of God of War 3 Chaos Mode. So I wanted to make sure at this point that I employed safe strategies. This QTE, with Kratos killing these Cyclopes, is exactly the same as it was in God of War 1. A very nice recreation. And a very nice throwback. With that, though, we can move on. Well, we'll move on just a little bit, because ABE, remember, always be exploring. In this case, I tried to see if using the Boots of Hermes would at least be a nice speedrun strat, so I can run faster. It's not. It's so limited in how long you get to run for that using the boots for anything, it really just isn't worth your time. Just the aerial dodge is the only thing about the Boots of Hermes that you should really concern yourself with. Right now, I'm running over to the other side because I want to get a refill from the chest that's over here. And there we go. And now we just run right on back. There we go. And we can enter the next part of the game. Hooray! The Flame of Olympus again, but this time we're in the chamber above where the actual box is. Let's actually talk a little bit about Pandora's box. What do I think about the fact that God of War 3 is doing that thing that trilogies always do, where the third game brings back a big important element from the first first title and makes it important again, but in a different context sometimes anyway. I didn't like it at first, but this one grows on me a little bit more, if only because the explanation for why Pandora's box wasn't following the same rules in God of War 1 as it is in this game is actually really interesting and makes a lot of sense and plays into how good I find the Hephaestus character in this game. I really like the explanation for why Pandora's box wasn't always hidden behind the Flame of Olympus, and why it used to be on the back of Kronos of all places. I really like the explanation that they provide for that. I think it works. It's really interesting, and it, the box being here plays into the big central story thing that we're going to be finding out later about how all the gods were severely infected by the evils when Kratos opened the box again in the God of War 1. I really like all of that a lot, as it plays into the whole meta thing about the myth of the myth behind why there aren't any myths anymore. But that's the thing we're going to talk about way towards the end of the game. Here we have a siren, a God of War 3 siren. Very annoying, not, on their own, not right now. But towards the end of the game, oh boy, they get to be very, very, very annoying enemies. Very annoying enemies with a lot of health. As with most things in Chaos Mode, but it's especially apparent with the sirens. They have so much health in Chaos Mode. It's kind of unreal. But at this point, nothing that the bow of Apollo can't handle here. I really enjoy the direction the story is going to end up going soon. With now that Pandora has been introduced as an important figure in the plot, not just this side character that Kratos interacts with every now and again. Now that she's actually going to be important to what's going on, we can have Kratos confront his one true thing that he wants, which is to be a father. And now Kratos is going to have to confront that all over again with Pandora. We already saw that he was already pretty deeply affected just by her accidentally calling him father. So it's going to be interesting to see how this all goes now that Kratos has to officially interact with her and work with her, in a sense, to access Pandora's box. Here's a classic camera angle that we haven't seen yet in God of War 3, the classic spiral staircase camera angle. We had a decent amount of these in God of War 1 and God of War 2, and even Chains and Ghost of Sparta, and Ascension, I think, also did it, maybe. I don't truly remember if Ascension did it or not, but I know that Chains of Olympus and Ghost of Sparta did. Good to have it back in God of War 3. There's only a couple of them. They really just throw it in there just for the sake of calling back to the earlier titles, rather than having it be any kind of impressive camera trick as it was back then. But, you know, it's their last title. They thought it was their last title. Why not be a little bit indulgent in the callbacks? Another Phoenix Feather for us. Hooray. Another red orb chest for us. Hooray. This episode starts off, this first chunk of the episode starts off pretty quiet, pretty slow-ish. It's going to speed up. This episode is called The Carnage of Kratos. There is good reason why it's called The Carnage of Kratos. We are going to see Kratos do some real messed up stuff by the end of the episode here. But it's not immediate. We gotta wait for it and do some nice quiet puzzle solving in the meantime. This puzzle, very simple. We're just trying to recreate the image of the Blade of Olympus. There it is. Ta-da! And now the Muse statues will activate. As we saw below, the Muse statues play a key role in the balance of power on Olympus, as does Pandora's box, as does the cage that is guarding Pandora's box, as do the 3 judges of the underworld, as does the heart of the labyrinth, aka Pandora. And as does the chain of balance that connects the muses to the judges. This puzzle, very simple. Nice, fun music puzzle, not much to it. Now that it's done, though, we can take the elevator down. What seems to be initially a very boring elevator ride is going to turn into a tricky little encounter. On its face, it's a tricky little encounter. It's not really that bad once you really get into it. 3 onyx shielded soldiers. Don't bother doing anything. Just block. They can't do anything that breaks your block, so just block. Eventually a Gorgon joins in. Once the Gorgon joins in, you're just going to wait for the Gorgon to do her stare. Unfortunately, the God of War 3 camera thing is kind of happening there, so she was too far away to really do anything. Got a little closer. Now hopefully I can get her to do the stare. And there it is. There we go. Kill everything now that they're all stoned. There we go. A second wave, exactly the same as the first. More Onyx soldiers, more Onyx shielded soldiers, and another Gorgon will eventually spawn in. You do the exact same thing for this, and you're all done with the elevator fight. Not that crazy. Do a nice little aerial dodge to create some space between yourself and the shielded enemies, because you do need an opening to actually parry as opposed to block the stare that the Gorgon will do. Of course, she's not playing nice and just wants to keep trying to strangle me with her tail. I mean, come on. Just do the stare, please. There we go. There it is. And there we go. There's the stare. Now we can destroy everything. Unfortunately, we didn't have enough time to destroy her. But in God of War 3, unlike in God of War 2, you actually have plenty of time to destroy stoned Gorgons, as opposed to in God of War 2, where you had a very, very limited amount of time to destroy them when they were stoned. In God of War 3, they fixed that. You have plenty of time again to destroy Gorgons if they themselves are affected by their own magic power. Once the elevator comes down, raise it back up, and you can find 4 hidden chests. Hooray! Look at that. And 2. And 3. And 4. There we go. Four little hidden chests. 4 little hidden goodies for us. We also have stairs now that take us from the bottom where we initially found the box and talked with Athena regarding all that lore about the creation of Pandora's box. And where, you know, Hermes challenged us to his little chase that ended really, really badly for him. And the top floor where we were just at. The floor where we just did all the stuff. As you can see, everything's closed off now, but this is where we came from when we came up from the caverns. And going up the stairs, we will be back in the area we were just in when we came in after killing those God of War 1 Cyclopes. There we are. Now let's get the box, I hope, he says, knowing full well there's 7 more episodes of this. And spin, 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 and cutscene. Yeah, so obviously we can't get the box. I don't know why Kratos even tried. I guess it's just to open the door? I don't know. We can't get the box. We have to find Pandora. It's not going to be that easy. Finding Pandora is going to be its own big long quest that we are going to be getting into. So let's go. Let's get moving. First thing we're going to have to do in this quest, kill 2 more wraiths. Very straightforward. Again, as I said briefly in episode 5, they have a lot of health, but you can block everything they do. If they dig themselves into the ground, a la God of War Ascension, you just do L2 circle, drag them out, and then just keep hurting them. There is an item chest and a magic chest coming up right now, so if you want to waste some magic, feel free. I wouldn't waste your Rage of Sparta, but if you want to waste some magic and some health, some magic at this point to deal with these 2 raids faster because they have so much health, yeah, you know, go ahead. It's fine. And dead. Okay, cool. I didn't mention it, but I believe in the previous episode we came across the last glitch that I encountered for God of War III Remastered with the weird wraith thing where the wraith just disappeared after it fell off a platform. I'm pretty sure that was the last weird glitch that I encountered for God of War 3. Everything else from this point onward plays super smoothly, super normally. So, hooray for that! That is another hooray, another victory for us. Get ourselves our 3rd health upgrade. Yes. Another save point. And what's around the corner? Ooh. Health chest, item chest, and an arena. I think we all know what this means. I will see you after this big cutscene.
Bravo! Bravo! Our hero has arrived. Applause for another bastard child of Zeus. Just in time for the final act.
Hera.
You look terrible, dear. Still wanting to kill my husband, I suppose?
You know I seek revenge on Zeus.
Can't say that I blame you. Since you killed my son Ares, fear of you consumes him.
His fears will not matter. He is dead.
I'll drink to that.
Hera, I seek the child, Pandora.
Pandora? That wretched little thing my son Hephaestus created? Well, we can't have you do that, my dear. Destroy him.
Hello, brother. This is not between us, Hercules.
Isn't it? You were always Zeus's favorite.
The air on Olympus affects your thinking. Zeus has no favorites.
Think about it, brother. While I was stuck cleaning the Augean stables, he chose you to destroy Ares. Not convinced. How about this? While you were being crowned the god of war, I was sent to find an apple. They called them labors. Ha! Perhaps he did allow me to kill the Nemean lion, but he made your name known amongst the people. A fierce warrior, a killer made hero, a man made a god. But this time, brother, this time I will destroy you. Call it my 13th and final labor. Soon I will become the god of war and claim the throne for myself.
You aspire to be an Olympian, yet their reign is in the
We'll see about that. Fight for the glory of Zeus!
Phase 0 is not even a fight with Hercules, it's just another basic battle with unarmored soldiers. The soldiers will spawn infinitely except for the archers up above. Kill those archers and you will be fine, because then after this it's just a regular battle with unarmored soldiers. There's not much to it at all. Two more fantastic voice actors, two more fantastic performances. We have Kevin Sorbo as Hercules and Adrienne Barbeau as Hera. Great performances from both. Really like him. Just a basic battle here for now. This is phase 0, so don't worry too much about. Don't worry too much about wasting your magic or your rage at this point. Just kill some basic enemies. Eventually, you move on to the official phase 1 of the battle. And here we go.
I'll take care of Fight for the glory of Zeus! Attack now!
Okay, phase 1. Now Hercules is actually here. You want to keep your distance. You want to use the ramming of the undead soldiers to do damage to Hercules. No, he will not. I mean, come on. Why would you even think that? Stay away from him. Hercules does a lot of damage. Use soldiers to ram into him.
Stand together! To me at once! Forward!
If you can get in some chip damage with your Blades of Exile, that's great, but otherwise just focus on using the undead soldiers to deal as much damage as possible to Hercules. Eventually he'll try to attack you with a QTE. You'll just go ahead and mash circle, you'll ram him into a spiked wall, and you'll remove parts of his armor. Not much to it. Just pick up soldiers, and ram into them. Pick up soldiers, ram into him. If you can do some chip damage, go ahead. But I wouldn't rely on it. Also, you could also use some magic here if you wanted to. Some Army of Sparta would be appropriate if you wanted to. I didn't, but you could at this point.
I will triumph. He is weak. Attack now.
Keep it simple, keep it simple, keep your distance. He does a lot of damage in Chaos mode. The soldiers are infinite. They will continuously jump into the arena, so the developers want you to use the ram attack. Hercules will also be using the soldiers against you, but you can use the soldiers against him and really turn this into a freebie battle. Hercules is ready for another QT. Just mash circle. Now control, use the analog stick and push him into a spiked wall. It doesn't matter if it's the same one or a different one, just push him into a spiked wall to get rid of more of his armor. And there we are.
Armor is for weaklings.
When Hercules says that armor is for weaklings, we are moving on to phase 2 of the battle. Phase 2 of the battle, there are no more soldiers. This is now going to be a slow grind of a battle, because Hercules still does big damage, so you want to keep your distance, but now you don't have the soldiers to turn this into a freebie. You have to keep your distance, you have to use Blade of Exile combos to get in some chip damage. The Bow of Apollo, this is one of the few times it's not going to be that useful here, because Hercules will block most things that you do. I'm speeding up because the strategy is very straightforward. You're just going to keep your distance, you're going to do some basic combos and basic attacks. The Bow of Apollo isn't going to do much here to help you out. You can try it if you want, but it's not really going to do that much to help you. Keep your distance, use your blades, get in some chip damage, you'll be done soon. I say soon, but in Chaos mode, Hercules has so much health, it's gonna take a little while. Eventually, though, we will get to a point where we will be able to move on to phase 3 of the battle, where the tides will turn. This is probably the most difficult phase of the Hercules fight, because you don't have any more unarmored soldiers to make this easier for yourself, and Hercules still does the exact same amount of crazy big damage as he's been doing since he joined the fight in phase 1. So keep your distance, basic combos. If you can get away with a triple triangle, go ahead. Otherwise, square triangle. Try to nick him with the triangle part of the combo. He has so much health, even in Chaos mode, sped up. This is still going to take a little while because he is just so bulky in Chaos mode. It's not difficult, it's just a grind. If you want to use magic at this point, feel free. Feel free to use some magic here if you want. We're going to be getting refills after this fight anyway, so really me not using magic was just more of a stubborn thing, rather than genuine strategy, because this would be the time to use to use your magic. Eventually, though, we will do enough damage that Hercules will.
Do you see how he trembles?
Will showboat and leave himself totally open for Kratos to just go in and turn the tides of the battle. I mean, really, Hercules, what a tactical mistake. Do the annoying analog stick QT, and phase 3.
Finally, a challenge.
Phase 3 is way easier than phase 2 and phase 1. You're still one-on-one, but Hercules no longer has the Nemean Cestus, which is the name of his gauntlets that he's been using. That means he can't block attacks anymore. And now that we have the gauntlets, they are our third weapon of the game after the Blades of Exile and the Claws of Hades. Now that we have the Nemean Cestus, we can go ahead and really lay in the damage on Hercules. Every once in a while, Hercules will go to the spiked walls, rip out a chunk of them, and throw them at Kratos. They're kind of your indicators of how much health Hercules has left. Once Hercules throws 2 or 3 of them, you're at the end of the fight. So that's going to be your indicator for how much health Hercules has left. Him going up to those walls and throwing chunks of boulder at you. In the meantime, though, if Hercules grabs you, don't worry. It's just a nice QTE, so you can do some brutal animation counterattacks. If you want to use magic at this point, go ahead. I'm not sure if it's actually going to let you use magic at this point, since you have a new weapon, and the game hasn't taught you how to use the magic for the Nemean Cestus yet. But if you want to try it, go ahead. Like I said, you're going to get your magic back after this, so there's no reason not to just go nuts. You can't block anything anymore, so use your Bow of Apollo to do some chip damage. Use the Nemean Cestus to get in close and do some major damage. Dodge around him. If he grabs you, it's probably going to be a QTE. If he punches you, it's just gonna hurt for a little bit. Keep it up. The battle is almost over. He already threw chunks from 2 walls, so he really should be close to done at this point. In fact, I think he is now. And that's the end of the Hercules boss fight. We have gotten our 3rd weapon, the Nemean Cestus. They are our gauntlets. We really, really brutalized Hercules. Like, I mean, holy mother of... We can see it again. He has no face anymore. It's all just... It's just a little indent of where a face used to be. Dive into the water here, get yourself another godly possession. Hercules is shoulder guard. Hercules technically isn't a god, he's a demigod, but whatever, it's a prized possession. We're going to take it anyway. Now that we have the Cestus, it's time for the game to teach us how to use it. Yeah, no, that's a really, really brutal method of finishing off an opponent.
Kratos, you now possess the Nemean Cestus. Use their strength to make the very earth tremble.
Santa Monica Studio, different priorities back in 2010 versus 2018 and 2022. Not that any one set of priorities is better than the other. It's just, you know, very obviously different priorities. The Nemean Cestus' magic is the Nemean Roar. It is a shockwave attack that goes off in one direction. It's not a wide radius. It goes in the direction that Kratos is facing, so you have to make sure you're facing the right direction. Press R2 and unleash a shockwave that will hurt all of the enemies on the ground. Cestus also has one other thing that's really, really useful and special about it that we'll see in just a little bit. That special thing is Onyx. We encountered some enemies with the Onyx shields. We've been encountering some of this blue Onyx material throughout the course of the game. Now we have a method to actually finally destroy it. The Nemean Cestus is the only thing that can do that. So, there you go. Fun! But yeah, Kratos really, really just brutalized Hercules. It was... Oh boy. Quite the, quite the thing to witness. Really cool, ultimately. I'm not going to complain about it. It's really, really technically and aesthetically impressive just how much they were able to mess up Hercules' face. I really like the interpretation of Hera. Hera is a very fun character in this game. We only get to see her a little bit, but it's very fun whenever she's around. It's a really interesting interpretation. Short, but there is nuance to it. She has been affected by the evils of gluttony and sloth. Regarding the evils that were unleashed when Kratos opened Pandora's box in God of War 1, she was affected by gluttony and sloth. As evidenced by the fact she's sitting around watching contests of Zeus's children murdering each other. Because, I mean, she would have reason to not really like the children of Zeus all that much. And also evidenced by the fact of her drinking. So, there you go. The last section of this video is going to have us explore the chamber of a god we have already fell. That has already fallen to Kratos' might. We are going to be exploring Poseidon's little rest area, his little home on Olympus. And we are going to do some evil stuff in here. Oh man, you can bet your bottom dollar. Kratos has reached rock bottom at this point, so prepare for more terrible things that Kratos is going to do. I mean, holy. Before that, though, more Onyx shield soldiers. Use the Nemean roar to break as many of the shields as possible in one attack. That is the best way to do it. They can really brutalize you fast, these Onyx shield soldiers, if you're not just blocking the whole time. And you can't, because you have these hounds on you, and the hounds can break your block, so you have to really be careful in this fight. This is a particularly difficult fight here. These soldiers and hounds can really make your life kind of difficult here. But once you break all the Onyx shields, this becomes a very simple battle again. Because once the Onyx shield soldiers lose their Onyx shields, they are just the regular undead soldiers that can be grabbed, and you can do anything you want to them. The Nemean Cestus is going to be our main weapon of choice. It is the best weapon in the game. Not at the beginning. At the beginning, the Blades of Exile are still going to be just a little bit better, but pretty rapidly, start in the next couple of episodes, we are going to be leveling up our Nemean Cestus to a full power, and once it's fully powered, the Cestus is going to be our go-to weapon of choice for most things. It is going to be the best weapon. The best weapon that you can use in God of War 3. It's going to be the one that we use the absolute most. So let's go see this person right now.
You're Lord Kratos. Please. No. I do not need your help.
So yeah, the Cestus are going to be the best weapon in the game. We are about to do some very evil things. Before those evil things, though, let's go into this room here. This is the room of the infinitely respawning hounds. This is the room where you can easily get the Kick 50 Hounds trophy, the trophy for burning 100 enemies, I think, or burning 50 enemies. I forget how many enemies the trophy asks you to burn, but it's where you can get the trophy for burning a certain amount of enemies, and for stunning enemies with the Head of Helios. This is the room with the infinitely respawning enemies. This is where you want to get those trophies. This area right here. It's going to be a little link to a video that will show you that, you know, it'll just walk you through how to get those trophies in this room. In the meantime, though, to actually move on, you want to use the hounds. You want to kick, I believe it's four of them in to lower the weight enough to access the Poseidon Princess's her chambers. Like I said, we're going to end this video off by doing some more very evil things. Truly terrible things, because Kratos is in a really bad and dark place right now. Oh boy. Here we go.
Lord Kratos, no! Please! Please, leave me be. I beg of you. Show mercy.
Hold your tongue.
Alright, so people don't talk about this enough, just how terrible Kratos is to the Poseidon Princess. It's, oh man. What's going to end up happening, what he's going to do to her is probably the worst thing he's done to anybody in these games. Because compared to everyone, she really didn't do anything at all. She's literally just here. She's unlike the others that get in his way. The Poseidon Princess is literally just here and doesn't do anything.
I beg you.
So what he's going to do to her is pretty horrendous.
Ah! No! Stay back! Get away!
And Kratos comes a long way from this point, but he never acknowledges that he did this in other God of War games, i.e. 2018 and Ragnarok. And I wish he did, because yeah, it's important to talk about. It's important to talk about how you killed your dad, but this is also pretty important to talk about too.
I beg you. Ah!
Being in a dark place and just giving in to your mantle as Death, the Destroyer of Worlds. I don't know, man. I don't know. This is pretty. This is pretty messed up. This situation here. Whatever. In a gameplay sense, all we're doing right now is just kicking the hounds. If you don't rescue the Poseidon Princess in time, she will die, and you will have to. You will have to restart the section again. So I recommend when she's about to fall off, don't wait to kill all the hounds, just grab her immediately to save her.
Go!
Alright. We're about to come up to a fight that isn't actually difficult, but I did die to it because I messed up my blocking a little bit. I don't die that much in this game, but this is one of the few times, and this one is just my fault for not being on top of for not being that observant. I don't know. It's just a weird situation. These are Poseidon Talos. They are upgraded versions of regular Talos. They act exactly the same as regular Talos, so I don't know how I died here the first time. I just messed up and wasn't observing when I should be blocking. I'm using the Cestus here because it seems like it's the only weapon that works against it, but you can use other things like the Blade of Exile or the Claws of Hades, and it'll work too. The game and the developers are steering you towards using the Nemean Cestus for these enemies, but you don't have to if you don't want to, especially if your Blades of Exile are more powerful at this point. Though eventually we'll get to a point where the Nemean Cestus are definitely easily the most powerful weapons that we have, but that's not yet. Which is one of the reasons why this fight is going on for a little bit too long. This seemingly basic fight with 2 Talos and no reinforcements. I wouldn't recommend using your magic here, if only because we're going to have a couple of more encounters after this. And one of those encounters, I believe, features more onyx-shielded soldiers, so you want to make sure that you want to make sure you have enough magic to break multiple shields at once with the Nemean Roar, as opposed to having to risk getting in close with the Cestus. The second Talos is dead, and we can move forward. Yeah, see, we have some Onyx soldiers here. We want to make sure we use the Roar so we can very quickly break as many of the shields as possible, if not all of the shields. Turn this into a very basic battle with just unarmored soldiers, as opposed to a more complicated, risky battle with shielded enemies. One to go. Alright, let's continue the terrible things to the Poseidon Princess.
Move!
Oh man, this is the one part of the game that I am definitely a little uncomfortable about. Even beating Hercules' face in isn't as bad as this. If only because Hercules was basically asking for it, and the Poseidon Princess is most certainly not.
Please don't.
But here we go. There were other ways to keep the doors open, but I guess we're not going to consider those. Not today. This final battle of the video features 2 shielded soldiers and 1 more Poseidon Talos. Use the Nemean Roar to get rid of the shields as quickly as possible. Then this just turns into a battle with with regular soldiers you can grab and throw, and with 1 Talos, which is very easy to handle. Now that there's only 1 Talos left, I'm going to go ahead and speed up, just because we know how to fight. 1 singular Talos at this point. And there we go. Talos is ready to die. Alright, well, we're about to witness the terrible thing Kratos is going to do to the Poseidon Princess. I am going to sign off here, because after this is just a big long cutscene that leads us into the next part of the game. I will see you all next time. I hope you enjoyed this quiet episode that turned into a brutal episode, and is going to end as a brutal episode. Yeah. Bye-bye.
Lord Kratos! Do not leave me!
Pandora!
Kratos, I knew you'd come back.
Tell me where you are!
I hear something. He's close.
Just tell me how to find you!
The labyrinth! Find the labyrinth! Ah! Help! Help, Kratos!
Pandora! Pandora, what's happened? Where are you?
My son. You trifle with matters you cannot possibly understand. Stay away from this thing.
Zeus!